But why so many images of so many women over the years?
It is taken from an old video collection on YouTube called the Lucifer series. I did voice for most of the videos, among them the few that were widely viewed, I should add.
You called yourself Lucifer?
Back then I did, Doctor. It was ages ago, early in the 21st century, before you were born.
But you still insist you're a demon.
Call me a god if you like. Call me a fragment of your lovely patient's very fragmented personality.
Oh, back in the early 21st century, did you also inhabit the mind of a woman the way you do now?
No, your patient is only my latest incarnation, so to speak. In those days, 2009 on through the teens, I hung out, as it were, with an American named Neil Fox.
Well, he looks completely insane.
Indeed.
And now you're a woman.
I have always been essentially male, but presently I inhabit the mind of the troubled patient with whom you have been having a secret relationship, yes.
Do we have to talk about that?
Do we have to talk around it? You're not having relations with me, you know. The most private moments of your liaison are with her, not with me. I am elsewhere when the two of you are being intimate.
I'm not sure I want to talk about that just now.
Very well, Doctor. What would you like to talk about?
Well, you call yourself a demon.
Or a god, or an archon, or whatever.
An archon.
Never mind.
Or whatever. Okay, but what's your history?
My history.
Yeah, your history as you understand it.
My history as I understand it. Well, my history as I understand it is nothing you could possibly comprehend. The only history you would want from me is my history as you might understand it.
All right, then fine. Tell me that.
My history, yes. Well, all right, my history then. Have you ever heard of the science fiction novel Solaris by Stanislaw Lem?
I saw the movie.
Which one? There is an American and a Russian version.
Well, it had George Clooney in it, so it was the American one.
The book by Stanislaw Lem is more comprehensive than either the American version or the Russian version. Lem was trying to demonstrate how impossible it would be to understand an extraterrestrial intelligence truly alien to human intelligence, the futility of communication.
A space station in the future circles the planet Solaris. Solaris appears to be almost entirely covered by ocean, but it is revealed that the waves of the ocean are actually the muscle contractions of a single, living, globally immense organism.
That was never clear in the movie.
Sadly, the Soderbergh film, the American version, took no interest in what the author had intended. Soderbergh was playing off the Russian version of the film and seemed to expect everyone to be familiar with that production, even as he felt the need for it to be as slow and cerebral and enigmatic as possible, which, frankly, is why it flopped at the box office. The critics were kinder to it than the general public.
Funny you should mention Solaris. I mean, I realize it has problems, but I watch it every few months or so, like clockwork.
Well, perhaps you will understand better once I have explained the novel to you. In the book, research into the Solaris phenomenon has been going on for quite some time when the main character, Chris Kelvin, arrives at the space station. Lately, the team has been bombarding the planet with X-rays, and when the planet reacts, everybody on board starts having very unusual experiences that are extremely traumatic for them.
So the planet is fighting back.
Yes, by attempting to understand humans in a way that causes them great emotional pain. This manifests as visits from physical replicants drawn from their memories. Memories that the person is very conflicted about.
In the movie, the George Clooney character...
Kelvin.
Whatever, he's a psychiatrist whose wife committed suicide.
Yes, and when he falls asleep on the space station, he wakes up and finds his wife physically there with him. She is real. She believes they are at home. Kelvin knows the creature cannot be his wife, so he kills her.
Yeah, that's how it goes in the movie, but she just rematerializes when he wakes up again later.
So he sees the futility of trying to do away with her. But now the new replicant of his wife is confused and conflicted. She does not remember her husband killing her, but she does remember the despair that led up to Kelvin's wife's suicide and realizes that none of it is truly her memories. In the book, it dawns on her that she is a medium by which the planet is linking intimately with Kelvin. She cannot handle knowing that she is just a mere device, so she attempts suicide. But she no sooner dies than her body simply regenerates. She is constructed to be immortal.
So when the suicide fails her, a way is found to destroy her permanently so she will no longer keep returning.
Well, in the movie, in the end, she doesn't stay destroyed.
Yes, the movie ended with more hope than the book, although I must say it touches on a valid enough point. We never do stay destroyed, you know.
We.
Yes, Doctor, we. While my kind is nothing if not completely non-corporeal, we can in every other way be compared loosely with the replicants in the story. The only difference is that you don't have to go to an alien planet to encounter the sort of replicant that I am.
What do you mean?
I mean that a planet does not have to be covered by an ocean and enveloped by a single living organism for it to have consciousness. All planets that teem with as much life as this planet Earth brims with consciousness. It pulses with collective consciousness, from the most evolved species to the least evolved. From humans down through other primates and dolphins and their related mammal cousins and so on to vegetation and even insects and bacteria and viruses, what have you. This planet brims with consciousness, collective consciousness. The fictional situation between Kelvin's replicant and Solaris is any seeker's situation with his or her own planet Earth.
You're saying you're a supernatural spirit.
Ah, there is nothing supernatural about me or about any other psychic entity. There is nothing above or beyond nature. There is only what is as yet poorly understood about nature, what is difficult, if not impossible, to quantify. You see, Doctor, by this logic, you yourself are a replicant of this Earth, the same as any creature or plant or germ on this planet is a replicant. Just as you, in turn, projected your largely unconscious psyche out onto the unknown and inadvertently drew me into your shadow, or id, or whatever you might call it. You and all life on this planet are the vessels through whom the totality of the collective consciousness assimilates all incoming impressions, the same as I serve to help you take stock of yourself, Doctor.
The Earth Mother's reply to what she makes of me, is that it?
That is one metaphoric way of putting it. In inadvertently summoning me, you and your patient gave me a face. The two of you did this in collaboration with the totality of the consciousness of all life on this planet. If you could do that consciously, you would be quite the accomplished seer.
You're talking about magic.
To be more precise, it touches on the most spiritual end of the craft, which in you is randomly mindless, but in others a bit more focused.
It's stupid.
Actually, the Lucifer series was always interested in suggesting perspectives on it that wouldn't seem as stupid to your sort as it usually does.
Planets don't have consciousness.
But the life of that planet does, and the whole of it, I must say, is far greater than the sum of its parts.
It amounts to a de facto goddess. Any planet with life would have to be deemed a deity.
The basis for deity, yes, but the deity is simply the union of all life made conscious in the seeker that chooses to participate in it, to their best and optimum aptitude. It is about what is organic and its connection to what is inorganic in an ecology that ultimately spans far beyond the planet's own atmosphere.
No such connection is possible.
Wrong, Doctor. No such connection is even avoidable. Your awareness of it is all you can deny yourself. The connection stands from the moment of your conception to your death. And given certain paradoxes to do with time and space, I might even chance to suggest that it stands well beyond your death and possibly prior to your conception.
Now that's just crazy.
It's a crazy universe.
Besides, how are you any sort of extension of me?
You are forgetting your forbidden relationship to your patient, your guilt over your wife, your divided feelings of love and passion and concern for your patient, your professional embarrassment, your shame, your worries over it. Between the two of you, I have been summoned. It matters not at all that neither of you was ever conscious of having summoned me.
Well, where is this going?
You tell me. Organic life represents, so to speak, the Earth's organ of perception. Organic life forms something like a sensitive film which covers the whole Earth's globe and takes in those influences coming from the planetary sphere which otherwise would not be able to reach the Earth. The vegetable, animal, and human kingdoms are equally important for the Earth in this respect. A field merely covered with grass takes in planetary influences of a definite kind and transmits them to the Earth. The same field with a crowd of people on it will take in and transmit other influences. The population of Europe will take in one kind of planetary influences and transmit them to the Earth. The population of Africa take in planetary influences of another kind, and so on.
So, we are all the eyes and ears of the Earth Mother, literally. Okay. Gurdjieff saw the Earth as having a soul distinct from all life on it. And he saw that soul as being materially based. It's not supernatural. I can't go with that. I can't go with the supernatural, and I can't go with a planet that has a soul distinct from the life forces on the planet itself. Okay. I do think, as I say in the video, that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. There's this massive gestalt, and it transcends the immanence. All right? And we are all extensions of that. And for me, that's the essence of the Wicca of the goddess and the serpent. And I don't think you have to go looking for suffering. I think suffering will come your way, and you deal with it as it comes your way. All right. And yours is to just go for that convergence that liberates you, that frees you. And those things that block you, that's your central drama in life. That is what you want to be dealing with. All right? I want you to keep that in mind, and I want you to keep in mind that you're an extension of this entire planet, and this entire planet's alignment with the entire solar system, and the solar system's entire alignment with the galaxy, and the galaxy's entire alignment with other galaxies in the vast cosmos. Okay? That is the context in which you study Kabbalah.
Getting real with the Earth is not about rituals and costumes that may not honestly mean anything to you personally. It is about realizing and manifesting what you actually are in the fullness of your being. Your brainwaves will alter of their own, reconfiguring to match your own increasing potential. No one lives there. The trick is to simply be able to get there and back again. Most students just revel in those states for their own sake, a matter of personal spiritual insight. But with time and focus, one can do things, very special things. Now, for reasons to do with a number of complex issues related to a certain forgotten past, you have been discouraged from exploring your aptitude for these very special things. You have been told that wider levels of consciousness should only be for their own sake and to aid you in behaving like a nice person. You have been told that the Supreme Being forbids other sorts of attainments to be had from this process. But, you see, there is no Supreme Being. There is only Supreme Being. Supreme Being is to become the source of your flesh. Supreme Being is to become the source of your heart. Supreme Being is to become the source of your cognition. None of this can happen anywhere but here and only now. It can happen nowhere else, nor at any other time. But things will get in the way. When they do, there is one last little principle to consider.